Taxes can be a very confusing thing. Even I, someone who is already 20 years old and has had a job for the past 3 years, I don't even know how to do my own taxes. I always just, like a lot of other people, go to a place to pay someone to do my taxes for me because I do not know what I'm doing. And I feel like today might be a good day to try to at least learn a little bit more stuff about how to do your taxes. And what better place to get accurate information about doing your taxes than Reddit.com. So today I'm going to be scrolling through this Reddit thread and reading for the very first time with you guys what these people are saying on like how to do taxes. It is a Reddit thread titled Learning How to Do Taxes, so I think this is going to be perfect. And just for the record, before we begin, this video is not me giving financial advice, and I am not qualified to give financial advice. We are just going to be looking at Reddit. Alright, let's begin. I'm 33 and have never learned how to do taxes. I am tired of paying someone and it always becomes unreliable, or I get shafted because they don't know how to do taxes. That already does sound very irritating. Is there a course I can buy or a schooling I can do or anything you guys can recommend so I can learn how to do this? I want to learn but do not know where to start. That is exactly us, guys. That is us. We want to learn how to do taxes. Just like that person. Okay, top comments. I would start by taking your last Yale 1040 and a copy of the instruction and go through it. iOS.gov has a plethora of information. Oh, that is the official iOS website. That would probably not be a bad website to check out. This is the best plan. So many people think that taxes are complicated. For 95% of people, they are not. Really? Because they do seem complicated to me. For the people who have complicated taxes, they have multiple entities, supplemented income through assets and services, and use up out of the schedules. Oh wait, actually, I think I can confirm that because for about half a school year, I was doing college and I was getting my college paid for by a government program, basically. Or maybe not a government program, but by a program. And I remember when the person who did my taxes had to look at all that information, it was kind of like a big issue that they had to try to figure out, something to do with the company that was giving me the money for the schooling. And I guess they had to figure out how they correctly calculate that into the amount that I'd be paying for taxes or something like that. I don't remember, but I do remember it being kind of an issue when I got my taxes done. If you work for someone else and get a W-2 and maybe have some other income, doing your taxes by printing out the forms and using a pencil is a 45-minute exercise. Jeez, only 45 minutes? That's actually pretty fast. Okay, I've only had to pay taxes twice since I am, like I said, only 20 years old. I'm not 50 or something. And I do remember, maybe it's just how bored I was, but it did feel like it was a lot longer than just 45 minutes to get it done at the place that I went. Nothing against the place that I went. So the people there are very nice and very helpful. If they find this video, I am not shit-talking you guys. You guys did a great job and I appreciate it. But yeah, it did take kind of a while if I remember correctly. At least a bit longer than 45 minutes. Everything you need to do your taxes correctly is on the iOS website. Oh, second person to say that. Start with your old taxes, print out a copy of the 1040 instructions. Do not be intimidated that they are so long. They cover a whole bunch of scenarios you will never have to deal with. That is very good to know. Uh-oh, it seems like some people here actually disagree with that person though. 95% is a foul stretch. I would say more like 60% are fairly straightforward. That's only a little more than half. The rest are not. Rental income, stock sales, RMDs, business income, depreciation. I'm sorry guys, I know nothing about what I'm talking about. Just because yours might be simple doesn't mean everyone's is. Okay, that is pretty good to know. So guys, according to these people on Reddit, you should not expect doing your taxes to be very simple. And I do think that's good to know because you don't want to go into something expecting it to be super simple and then have it be so complicated in comparison to what you expected and then be overwhelmed. It looks like no one pointed you to publication 17 yet. It's a specific part of the iOS website you should start with based on what you mentioned wanting to do, as long as you are okay with doing some reading. I feel like that is probably probably a pretty big thing about doing your own taxes. You gotta be ready and willing to do a bunch of reading, because it is dealing with a bunch of information and documents, I believe, and stuff like that. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Good on you. Try TurboTax or TaxAct, or one of the free file places. Try to prepare your return and compare it to previous years. Basically, you can reverse engineer it without a class. Okay, so, I'm sorry guys that I am not going to be making like a super long video about this. I know this is a type of issue that you could probably make like a 2-hour long video about and still not cover all of the essential information. But I do think we did learn a bit of useful stuff in this video. Basically, you can do your taxes by yourself. You just have to be ready to do a bunch of reading and looking at documents, and if you want to do your taxes by yourself, there are a bunch of resources out there that can help you do it, and you should probably use when you go to do it. Again, that is me saying that as someone who is not qualified to give professional financial advice, but I am happy that I made this video, and I hope that you guys, like myself, have learned something today. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What is your least favorite thing about doing taxes? And I don't know if many people have a most favorite. That sounds kind of funny to say, but also, if you feel like doing it, let me know what your favorite thing about doing taxes is. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Cartoon Post out.